think there's three ways in which we can reverse this. The first is the judicial review. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see what comes of the appeal, and it's going before 3 judges in June, and then, depending on what happens there, we could go as far as the European Court of Human Rights. So that's the first thing. The courts have the power to strike down this part of the Act. The point about the Scotland Act is that Parliament is not absolutely sovereign. Parliament is subject to the European Convention of Human Rights, and so the Scottish courts or the European Court of Human Rights can actually ultimately strike it down if they deem it to be incompatible with ECHR. The second thing, I think, is the more pressure we put on our politicians, the more likely they are to shift. Somebody wrote to one of the Lib Dem MPs who wrote back a letter, which I was a wee bit surprised about, because he said very strongly that Liberal Democrats are opposed to this policy. When the policy went through the Scottish Parliament, the Lib Dem MSP supported it. It came up at the party conference at the weekend, I'm informed. There was a debate at the conference on the civil liberties sense, because as you're probably aware, the Lib Dems have been campaigning against the SNP government's new national database thing that they're proposing. And there was an amendment to the motion about the named person, and there was a debate about it, and I would think there was quite a close vote. But the party conference decided not to include something on the named person in the motion, which was going to conference. So what the exact position is, I am unaware personally, and I'm not sure. But now the point I'm trying to make is that the reason there's a bit of a shift perhaps taking place is because of the public campaign. The Tories certainly have strengthened their opposition since the bill went through. The Lib Dems now seem to be shifting a wee bit. Some of the Labour people were a wee bit thinking, oh, maybe we should have taken a bit of a stronger line on this at the beginning. So parties can change their position. That's the point I'm trying to make. So the more pressure we put on parties, the more likely it is that they'll change their position. And then the third thing is that there is the guidance out for consultation at the moment, and there's going to be further guidance. There's going to be a complaints procedure drafted between now and the summer by the civil servants. So there are opportunities for us to engage at that level in terms of what guidance is published, in terms of the complaints procedure which is developed, and ultimately how this will be implemented. I mean, Michael and I and Leslie were at a consultation event which the government put on just last week, or the week before, last week I think it was, and what they said was, well, should we have national guidance or should we have local guidance? And all the professionals from all over Scotland were there, from all the local authorities and health boards, etc. And in the end, there was a sort of conclusion, well, they should have both. So there will be national guidance almost certainly and local guidance. So there's an opportunity, I think, the more people get involved, particularly at the local level, influencing your local councillors and your local authority to have an influence about how it is implemented at that level too. Thanks.